It's good to see you guys are excited today. It's good to see you guys are super keen to go. I'm liking the enthusiasm. It's good to know. Good to see the enthusiasm. I like it. I like it. I'm just gonna do a couple of things and we'll be ready to go, okay? Welcome anyways. Welcome to the live stream. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. You can see that I've got a combination of Deepal and Pinion lyrics here, primarily because trying to get lyric translations for this album has been a time, but it's okay. I'll just put your chat out here. There we go. And then I go shum. There we go. And we've got everything here. And I'm just gonna go to here. Oh, that's good. Now, do something real quick, because I think that might be quite loud for you guys if I play it like this. So if I go like that. There we go. Put that down a little bit. Cool. I think we're good. I think we're good now. We've got it. Yeah. Oh, did you? Oh, thank you. Did you post them to the Discord? Oh. Oh, okay. Thank you. I've just found this. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's really sweet. I really appreciate the fact that you've done some subtitles. Who is this? We'll open up Deepal to thank everyone. So we got DT Kajine, we've got Lamse Hin and Martin Wang and Shin Yida. Thank you, Shin Yida. And who provided the lovely translations? Mayor of Yonghua City, Shang Yi. Here we go. And we got here Legs Mark and link in description. Hi Jay. And then finally who have we got? Yuan Yi. Well, yay. Welcome. Hopefully this is looking alright on your end. Okay. We'll use these translations since you've kindly provided them. I figure that's the least I can do there. If there's any issues, I have the backup as well. Okay, so I'm just gonna make them small and go shum 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 shum. There we go. Right, doing well for time. And I assume this is live. I can only hope so. Just gonna do a sound test. I think I can hear that, eh? I think I can hear that. Just gonna double check the sound one more time. We don't actually need sounds from the system. That's fine. Okay. It's looking all good there. I think we're great. Sup, shooters? My name is Logan, aka Spiderhands, and welcome. Actually, what is this album named? What is this album? Zhang Yu Sheng wrote the copy for every song on. Did he? That's pretty wild. Oh, these are the old ones. I'll keep them here. Oh, it's Firefox, right? If I go to this and I go to this, no, stop. What are we doing? Yeah, if we put this in here, what is this album actually called in English? That's a good question to ask. Lit mouth says yes, heart duplicity. Ah, okay, thank you, everyone. Just figured I'd ask. I figured I'd show an attention. Song text for if you're leaving me. If the sun were to go out at the light of this moment, it would take 8 minutes for people on Earth to know. I am gone, though I am here. There is no love for you now. I pray if you let me go. William Shakespeare, much ado about nothing. So the cover is Pinocchio. Yeah, I figured it was Pinocchio. It does. It looks a little bit like the long-nosed boy himself. When the spring is dry, the fish are with each other on the land, and each other mouthfuls with wet. and each other with foam. It is better to forget each other in the rivers and lake. Zhuang Shi. Fantastic. Just before we get into it, this is going to be me reviewing this album to the best of my abilities. I've had a few comments recently stating that I'm not paying as close attention as I do as per my previous reviews, especially for the earlier JChow stuff. Just so people know before watching this, I'm aware of the comments and I will be putting my full attention to this. I'm far less familiar with Zhang Yu Sheng's stuff, so it'll be a brand new experience for me, and it'll be super cool. But yeah, the first track here, If You're Leaving Me, here, and we'll make it big, shall we? We'll make it big, or is that going to be too big for you? I don't know what it looks like for you guys. Oh, you can't see this anyways, I suppose. Can you? You can kind of see that. I mean, like, I suppose it's more for my benefit, eh? There we go. That's probably going to be big enough anyways. We'll make it that big. There we go. If you guys need it bigger, yeah, we'll go from there. Anyways, we're going to listen to each of these tracks from start till finish in this album. We're going to do the whole entire album today. So hopefully everyone has a good time. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to let me know. That's a hot coffee. That's good. Yeah, let's get started with If You're Leaving Me. Let's go. Not that one, Logan. This one. Really strange off the bat. Very unusual with these ping-pongy kind of sounds. Really uplifting major melody going on here. Interesting brass selection here. And that bass is nice and bright. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. His voice is very distinctive, isn't it? The EQing and the mixing on this is great. You know, his voice is prominent, but also you can tell by those organs coming in here, the swell there. Really charming, you know? Ah. Alright, while I remember. Yeah, Martin, we were originally, but then I got sick. So I've actually been sick. I thought I had COVID. We were gonna do the 3 JHL albums, but then I got sick. Yeah, I was sick. I thought I had COVID, like from Monday through Wednesday. I was just really out of it. So if we'd done the live streams, it would have been absolutely terrible. I was still kind of out of it on Wednesday. That's why if I seemed a little bit strange on Wednesday, that's why. Yeah. Wait, why is it starting from the start? What happened there? How did that occur? I don't know what occurred there. It literally started from the start again. Okay, we can do it. Okay, we'll do it again. Okay, just vibing with it. Nice chord note groove here on these kicks. You know, I see effortless vibrato to his voice, and those lead guitar parts in the background as a sub-layer are absolutely sensational, dude. Yeah, excellent backing vocals here. Really charming, effortless performance. Is he doing a slap bass as well? Like, how many different instruments do we have in this mix? Honestly, like, the production quality is timeless. I wouldn't have known this is 1997, to be honest. Great transition to the straight drum kit here. Similar approach to the vocals in the second half, an elongation of the first verse. Showing off a little bit of his prowess here, that's great. The panning of those cowbells on the side is absolutely charming. I don't know, again, I don't know as much about Zhang Yu Sheng. How many of these instruments is he playing? How many of them is he playing? Like, has he recorded all of them himself? I can't imagine that would have been particularly easy to do, you know? Great dynamic range to this recording as well, you know. The guitars are more than enough in the mix without being too thick or overbearing. And that hi-hat work there, it's really sensational. You know, like, it's not an easy thing for someone to fit in all that freneticism, how busy it is, you know, in that part. I think it's the lightness of the touch there. Sup, Andreas? How you doing? The lightness of the touch there is something truly to behold. And you got those extreme pan vocals here on the sides. It's very explorative in the stereo field, isn't it? Are we doing like key shifts? Going back down for that? I mean, it's a fun idea, sure. Again, I like the fact that Zhang is teasing a change here of key signature. You know, we're maybe moving to a new position, but at the same time, it's great that he pulls back and keeps it relatively simple for the first track of the album. We're not trying to overcomplicate the harmonies or anything too much. This almost sounds like a choir piece, like a big band kind of thing group, you know? Sup, Sue Jennings, how you doing? And that slap bass again is just fantastic. You get a certain kind of brightness from the slaps, you know, slap and pops. In fact, like the softness in the pad vocals here contrasts well with the punchiness of the kicks and also that slap bass. It allows him to articulate stuff up above because you got that hook line being repeated on the sides. I mean, that's a fair assumption. I mean, that's a fair point, I think. Oh. Okay, that's cool. That's cool, man. That's cool. I mean, that vocal fry that we just had there was absolutely sensational. It's really fresh sounding. I'll agree with that. As far as I've heard of Jay anyways, with the 6 albums plus that we've listened to, I think Jay, by the time his 6th album came, and I'll try and reduce the amount I talk about Jay Chou, because I know this is a, I know that this isn't a Jay Chou album review, just because people are bringing him up. Zhang Yu Sheng seems like the kind of dude who really wanted to explore the boundaries of what he was capable of as a musician and push past that. That was an A5. Yeah, an A5 is pretty high for a dude. An A5 is pretty high for a dude, especially for him not to go on a falsetto. That's really impressive. The Light of Taiwan, that's dope. That's cool. Honestly, like, what are some fun facts about Zhang Yu Let me know. Chat. I mean, we've established a clear theme that we're very comfortable with at this point. I like the fact that the music is easy to follow. It's so friendly and cheery and upbeat. It's a very simple two-chord bass line progression we have here. The Mozart of 1990s of Chinese music. He is more beyond a singer. I mean, I would say for sure that I can definitely hear some classical arrangement within this track here, combined with some more contemporary, leanings with the brass instruments and all that, and the electric distorted guitars and everything like that. Although it's worth being aware as well that just because you play a distorted guitar doesn't mean you don't go near that classical stuff. You look at a musician like Yngwie Malmsteen, who does neoclassical shred kind of stuff. He has the double kicks and all that kind of heavy rock power metal stuff. But also Yngwie uses neoclassical stylings and counterpoint and everything like that. But Zhang Yu Sheng has got an absolute banger for this first song. Spotify is doing a thing where it doesn't tell me what point of the track we are at today, so I will not know if a track's starting or finishing. But we're gonna have a look at the lyrics that one more time. One more time, because I want to get this right. I know it's important to get names right. Shang Sui Yi. If I'm not mispronouncing that, I apologize if I am. I'm going to look at the lyrics that we've kind of provided by, Shang today. And again, thank you for the help there, preparing to shift his focus from pop music to stage musicals, and had already completed the first Chinese rock musical in Taiwan, named To Kiss Me Nana, based on Shakespeare's musical called the... Oh, yeah, I heard that he died in an accident. It was incredibly sad, you know. Yeah, I mean, like most of the musicians I know of that died young in the Western world, they died of either drug overdoses, or they died of suicide, or they died because of like a plane crash. I think for like Buddy Holly, for example, that was a while ago now. But just dying in a car crash, there's something kind of especially visceral about that, I can tell there's some pretty big fans of Zhang Yu Sheng in the crowd today, though, so that's pretty cool. Thank you for coming along. Thank you for telling me some facts about Zhang Yu Sheng. I want to know more about the man. I have a mutual respect with him, or a respect for him. It's interesting lyrics, though. We'll just have a quick look through these and we'll move on to the next song, of course. I know sometimes people get grumpy because I spend too much time looking at the lyrics and trying to understand the story. So that's fun. It's interesting that we're starting with a song about, if you're leaving me, maybe I won't be too sad. Maybe a little sad, at least not being sad in front of you. So we don't want to admit to the other person that we feel down or unhappy about how life has been treating us, the move will still, the world will still move forward. Maybe it slowly changes. Maybe that change isn't a bad thing, And I guess we finally go, okay, well, if you're going to have to leave, then don't do it at the last minute. So I think we're slowly coming to terms with the fact that the person will eventually leave, but we want them to understand that they still need to pass the basic respect of being able to go, at least, don't make it more painful than it needs to be. So that's a beautiful song. It does sound like that. I would get that from the track. So well done. That was a great first start of the album, Yeah, there's a lot to take in here. Oh yeah, Ah Mei. Yeah, I heard about Zhang Yu Sheng and Ah Mei. Yeah, absolutely. And apparently Ah Mei is doing quite well as well, or has done quite well. It's sad, I suppose, that he had to compromise on his last album. I'm sad to hear that. But it's just life, It's just life. Life's a bit rough like that. To be clear, we have listened to the second track before, but we're going to listen to it again because we're doing the album review now, and it's especially important for us to be able to hear tracks in sequence, I mean, I suppose as a closing comment on the first track, you know, when you compare it to the lyrics, you basically have a song, especially with the choir, like the kind of church organ kind of vibe and everything like that. It's like a guy being left at the altar when the wife doesn't, the bride doesn't come to the wedding ceremony, you know? That kind of big band trying to play her, bring her back in, but eventually he just gives up and lets her go. What's this track going to be about? Number 2, because I don't think we had a look at the lyrics. We had to listen through this one. This might have been in a fan request, perhaps, you know? I like the sitar, or the sitar, and all these ethnic instruments or parts that may not have been typical, you know? Again, to have this with piano is not something I hear a lot, and I'm so glad that he's experimenting with these different textures, and genuinely seems like the kind of musician who does what he wants solely for the benefit of the music, rather than anything else, you know? Sup, RC? How you doing, dude? I mean, I love that lead line coming in here. I like how he's slowly developing and adding these layers into it, but at a pace in which it's easy to digest and it's invaluable. You know, when we talk about someone celebrating originality, I haven't really heard too many musicians through doing these top 5s or whatever that are like Zhang Yu Sheng. Very soft vocals, though. I know that he can put some vocal fry forward at some points, but at the same time, these 80s pads that are in the background are so gentle. He puts in the rock and the shred occasionally. Like, I remember hearing a song that reminded me a lot of the Stairway to Heaven solo section, which is, within itself, I would hope to be a compliment, but some people may not take it that way. It's very caring, the texture we have with this voicing of his lines right now. Oh, those distorted guitars, though, coming in very slowly. Again, there's this charisma to his voice, but he's encapsulating it, putting it inside a little bottle and not wanting to let too much else, and I really enjoy that. I really enjoy that, you know. Yeah, I saw Sakurai being involved in that, and that's pretty dope. Again, I'm loving this lead guitar coming in here. I think that if you'd had like distorted guitar here that was too aggressive, it would have completely ruined the mood. The sensitivity of the pads and the bass and the softly played drums and everything like that. It you know, it's kind of there's a nuance there stylistically and dynamically that Zhang Yu Sheng is paying attention to, which is rather stunning, you know. And it's part of why I wanted to review this album, because I knew that Zhang Yu Sheng was he was capable of it. Sorry, we have to just give him a little clap. Because that run there, as someone who's been playing guitar for most of my life, I hear that and I think, that is someone who not only knows how to articulate himself in a lead solo section in lieu of his voice, but then you've also got someone who knows those hammer-ons and pull-offs and the pentatonic scales and the shred positions and stuff. And the triplet phrasing there was just stunning. He built up to it climbed up the mountaintop and went and it's just beautiful. A beautiful, beautiful track, solo section. It's great to see lots of people chatting in the chat. I'll get to that in a moment. I'm just really enjoying this music, you know? That slight bass coming back in, the call and response with the guitars. Addition of backing vocals here. What kind of bass line is that? How simple is that bass line? Yeah, it's like you've got like a minor second or like a B, and then you're going back down to the A, then the A, then the B, you know. It's so simple, but it's the layering and the different voicings and how he stitches and amalgamates them that makes it special, you know? And these power chords here are exactly what's needed for a little bit extra oomph. Another thing to note, and I know I'm interrupting it a lot, but it's because I'm trying to review it. These soloing sections, if you cut that, you know, if you cut that out of the mix and put it on its own, it would sound very weird, isolated. But he's managing to make it appear normal in here, and that's a talent. Great panning with those tone fills. So much space in this arrangement. Those shimmers, I think we had them in the previous song if I'm not mistaken, or it's just been in this one, but it almost sounds like an old school band kind of vibe of the 70s or 80s. The style of marketing, or not marketing, but mastering of it. I'd love to see the recording setup they had for this track. I think that'd be fantastic to be able to check out, you know, be able to investigate that, you know. But an excellent start to proceedings. Really, really fantastic. And again, I'm not being nice for the sake of being nice. As someone who's played a lot of the instruments that are involved within this record, I can appreciate the work it takes to become competent on one. But not only to be able to play one instrument well, to be able to play them all well enough to not only record and write with them, but to know where to place them in the mix, when to take them away, how to phrase them so that the best assets get put forward, and how to hook them up with the story of the song that's just something. It's just something. It's another level. You know what I mean? I'm glad that people sing as unpopular songs, you know. I literally call it, so yeah, the lyrics are apparently quite, people have told me it's poetry, you know. Yeah, it's actually weird to me. Like I don't think I've listened to someone in quite a while and thought about his voice, about their voice. I just like the texture and tone and sound of his voice. I suppose without a knowledge of the words and how they're sung, that kind of is a bit of a detriment. But it's okay. It's okay. It's nice nonetheless. It's a shame that people don't know his stuff well, but hopefully people will listen to more of his material over time. It has become the agreed consensus to become a singer for the sake of his dead sister's wish. Oh, okay. And it's great that he had Koji Sakurai to help him out with this. That's cool. Days Without Smoke is later covered by Zhang Yu Sheng, but is now banned in circuit. Why is that banned in China? Why is that song banned? Did he say something bad? I don't know why it was banned. Sub Xi Jing, how you doing? What do we got? Duplicity, drifting away with the west wind. Oh, thank you for the clarification here. I appreciate that. Oh. So he was initially passionate, and then things eventually went away, or things got worse. Like nature itself, my innocent throbbing once unleashed the most boiling rhythm. That's an interesting phrase. Out of control, your messy dumping of affection. So I think it's about someone who maybe they have had a kind of tricky situation with, and things aren't entirely clear, and maybe people are being a little bit too indulgent with the way they communicate with one another. And we've gotten to a situation now where they just there's nothing there, and they just regret ever opening up to them in the first place. That's my understanding of duplicity. It's interesting imagery though, with the wind of autumn, withering just little death. It's some really dark stuff, eh? Really dark stuff that we're talking about. It's a little bit more intense than the first track we had, but we've got Cappuccino next. Cappuccino number 3. It's great so far though. It's a great album so far. Enjoying it. I mean, this is really cute with these, like the guitar tone is so innocent in Cappuccino. It's so bright and pretty, and these sus2 chords that Zhang is using are so bright without an emotional commitment that they're so easy to flex and manipulate. I love the thinking behind that. This is out of the box thinking. Sounds like a lot of the records I listen to from like 70s and 80s from like classic rock bands as well. I'm glad that we didn't try and pull in a contemporary direction. I'm sorry, is that like hi-hat? Like... Okay, Sheng. So we go from doing like sus2 chords in a harmony to pulling out extended sevenths? Like, wow, man. The emotional depth in this song is sensational. And major lift there with the hi-hat stutters. I like both of these. They're pretty slick, man. And that switch there to the shakers and the organ coming back in. Who would have thought to put an organ in there? Zhang did. And you might be thinking, well, Logan, why would it be weird to put an organ in there? Because it's unusual. It's strange to hear an organ coming at that point, but it's such a smooth portamento there that it almost feels like that's what you should do every single time. Sure, it's a sub-layer, it's not meant to be in your face, but... Great articulation with that drum fill there. You know, it's fairly minimalist with those rolls and that little flam there, but you don't need much more than that, dude. Okay. Thank you, Shinyida. And, was it? I think, yeah. Shang Shui Yi, and Shinyida. Thank you for clarifying that. I appreciate it. Sounds like a terrible situation, to be honest. Okay, I just love, like, when you think of a cappuccino in like a bar and like a cafe or something like that, you know, when you think of a cappuccino in a cafe, you kind of, at least to me, it makes me reminiscent of that sort of pseudo sophistication you get with feeling like, oh, I'm in a loud jazz dive bar or something, you know? I'm sorry. No, hang on. Well, what is he doing with these drum beats? These swing parts that are almost in a polyrhythm to the main groove. He's unbelievable, dude. No, hang on. We are not going for that super hardcore phase. We are not far enough into this album for my mind to be blown this much. Like the let me catch my breath for a minute. It's such a shame to me. I understand why that's the case, but it's such a shame that this is one of the least played song. Actually, no, it's damn. This album has not gotten as much love as it deserves, man. That percussion work. And of course we're bringing it to a more less intense section, just to balance it out. I love the sort of 16th triplet to a 16th groove here, made up of toms and snares. Dude, is this my favorite song on this album so far? Stop it. This is completely blowing my mind, dude. Like the triplet bop 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 bop. He's switching between this is so out of the box from what I'm used to listening to, dude. He's got a polyrhythm going there between those tom fills and his vocal phrasing there. He's going straight 8ths or 16ths and he's got triplets on the other side. And he contrasts it by removing them entirely and going back to a more sort of neutral harmony and removing the bass out of it. Dude. Wow, okay, Zhang Yu Sheng. Wow, Zhang Yu Sheng. That's pretty crazy, dude. Like, oh my goodness. Cappuccino. Ooh. Ooh, that was a lot. That was a lot to take in. My man is just nailing it. Cappuccino. I mean, he just, at face value, it sounds like he's celebrating cappuccinos, but that's because I have a very poor grasp of the language. Damn, dude. Are you saying that he... Oh, he chose music instead. Well, I'm glad that he chose music because it was definitely the right choice. What a talent. What a talent. I completely understand after just listening through these first 3 tracks why people are so sad that he passed away. I totally get it. I totally get it. I totally get it, man. I totally get it. The white paper, draw a bucket on it. Pen paper circles many things in my heart. Yeah, so this is kind of talking about like the bittersweet separation of like being happy and enjoying life and then getting taken away again, the loop of that, you know? Wow. Initially hide the chaos thoughts. Oh, chorus line. You remind me of cappuccinos. I think it's all my foolishness is melted in a bucket by you. It's like spreading out evenly. Oh, so I get it. So like this person's kind of seeing right through the facade and understands their pain, right? The white paper makes me seem to think of something, seem to have lost something, seems obsessed with something. Oh, so there's a bit of wordplay going on as well. Cool. Cool. Dude. Wow. So I think this is him writing stuff down and someone understanding it and reading him like a book. And it being related to cappuccinos. And it's basically a little bit of psychoanalysis combined with just feeling a sense of relief that someone understands him as who he is. That's my take on that one with cappuccino. We've got Name of Rose. Name of Rose next though. Including Koji Sakurai. Track number 4. 3 absolute bangers so far, dude. We had these really tense sort of almost horror movie dramatic strings at the start. And now we've gone to a triplet hi-hat groove today with more of a power ballad kind of thing. Yeah, that's what I mean, that he's much more than a singer. He is more like a musician or artist. Yeah, he is. He is a musician. He is a singer and he's a musician. I mean, shout out to Koji Sakurai. The song of Little Prince. I see. Thank you. Shin, I'm so glad. So glad that he chose music. Interesting guitar tone there. Sounds like there's a little bit of phasing on the recording. I don't know if that was deliberate. I mean, if it was, that's fine. I don't personally mind. No. Oh. Great unison of the voice and the organs here, dude. Charming. You know, this is a widely different chord progression and bass line to what we had before. I like the fact that Zhang Yu Sheng understands you can't just copy and paste the same sequence over and over. You've got to have change. You can't just do the same thing over and over again. It's not interesting to listen to. He's a king. He was a king, you know. I can hear that. I can hear the rock vocalist part. Yeah. There is that flanging or phasing there. Great. No. We are not phasing and flanging strings. We are not doing this. This is not the first time I've heard someone do this. How many other first times am I going to have today? This is why you all wanted me to listen to this, isn't it? Because you knew I'd have my mind blown repeatedly by this guy. Okay, we're going with some sampling of the motif from some classical pieces for the modulation of that sequence there. Great choir voicing here. I would honestly verge on this being damn near progressive for its time. Oh no. The vocal fries come out, the intensity, the viscous. Where did that come from? Because I'm treating this as like a neutral first time of listening through this album. Where did that come from? How did he do that? How did he do that? I have not heard anyone like this during my time doing these reviews in general. It's very rare I say this, but I feel like Zhang Yu Sheng has an actually unique sound to his music. This is an individual and very special experience that I'm having with his music. I'm not gonna like pretend that like there aren't elements of this that I've heard in other songs or styles of music. But Shang is just he's managing to make this his own somehow, and it's ludicrous how catchy it is. And like the guitar riffs are so simple, but they're so powerful, not only because of the way they're played on stage. And Woo! Woo! Where did the organ come in? Where was the organ in there? What? Where was the organ? Where was the organ in there? He sang Queen's The Show Must Go On. I wouldn't put it past him, to be honest, to sing that. What? What? Oof. I need a cigarette after that one. Wow. That was a song. That was a song. That was a journey. What was that? Name of Rose. So this is about a person who's kind of prickly or kind of thorny, like a rose, and even if it hurts to be around them and to caress them, they'll still want to have that connection there because it's worthwhile, you know, even no matter the cost. That they're that important that they'll sacrifice what they need to as their faithful gardener. Even if you'd rather breathe freely that window of star, I get it. It's a cool angle. We haven't really had that yet. We haven't had the angle of someone who's just deliberately like that venomous or like that dangerous, should I say, for it to still be that meaningful to them to want to sort of, I suppose, commit that dedication to it is a beautiful kind of thing. I can hear the rose in that. I can hear the thorny rose in that rock ballad. That was a rock ballad. It's the music Jerry Fang, he is called the music magician. Yeah, he is. I'm gonna say this now. Not that it probably matters much, but this is probably one of my favorite albums that I've reviewed during these specific album review sessions. Like it'd be up there. It'd be up there. At this point, while I did enjoy David Tao's album that we did, I am preferring this one more. So it's like, I think Jay Chou's fourth or fifth album, the one with her eyelashes, then it would be this. Then it would be the David Tao album. That's great. See, I love that. I love the fact that he is not afraid to have other guitarists come in and help out. Like, I love that. What a beautiful human being. Legitimately. Like, I'm so sad. I am so gutted that he isn't around anymore. We genuinely lost someone so special, dude, and it breaks my heart. I cannot imagine what it would have been like to have been alive when he was releasing his music and doing shows. I cannot fathom that. I cannot fathom how much pain people would have been in. I'm so sorry for your loss. You know, if you're watching this and you were alive when Zhang Yu Sheng was around, and you were around when he died, I'm so sorry for your loss, dude. So sorry for your loss. When you compare, you know, the vocal fry of the previous track to how softly and smoothly he is caressing you with his vocals here, it is night and day. The strings, the piano. He is the king of ballads, dude. He is the king of ballads, man. I am so ready. Let's just enjoy it. It's those strings though, man. The gorgeous harmonies there. They float up and down like butterflies on the sides, dude. Oh, that little key change here. The strings, they flutter like butterflies. It is just like a Disney film. It is so gorgeous. I can't. A vibrato. Oh my lord. My lord. This is music. This is music, dude. And that bass response that's talent. How did he know to put that exactly where it needed to be? Oh, I do this. Stop. Oh no. It does it every time. It does it every time. I feel like this every time. That is a succulent solo there. It's not just the majesty of the lead voicing though, it's the drum tone. The drums are just so raw sounding that they're so human. They're so human sounding. They're so to the point. It's like you're at a live concert. Thank you, I appreciate the help with the lyrics. Thank you. One of the best drum tones I've heard, man. Those drums are fantastic. Thank you, Jerry. I appreciate the clarification on that. It would not surprise me if it went with Disney. And just how he so elegantly and eloquently brings it back down. And it's like we never rose at all. Yeah, it's exactly. It's an immense talent. to be able to make music form images in your head. Like I'm hearing the strings of the butterflies. Oh. 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 Oh my god. Whew. It's been a while since I cried, was listening to a recording, but there's just something so... I like, I want to be real for a minute. Do you know how much music I listen to on any given day? And I'm just like, it's good. And like, it's just, you know, you hear tracks that occasionally they resonate with you so deeply that you just, you never forget them. And it's very rare that I feel this sad about someone like this. It's just because he passed away so young. And it's just so sad that we won't get to hear more incredible stuff from him like this. But I suppose all you can really do is just be so glad that it existed in the first place. Right? This will probably always be... this will... Like, if people were to say, you know, what are like the top 10 songs you've ever reviewed? Ever. Out of like the 1,000+ songs I reviewed, it'd be that. This would be my favorite. I didn't really talk much in that solo section, and I don't really know if I think everyone here understands why it was so phenomenal, but I think that just to clarify before we go into the lyrics, the reason that this works so well is that everything was played so well. there was so much passion and humanity in the performance. The mixing, mastering, recording was on par, but it also had a phenomenal dynamic range to it. And the story that was told was done with such care up until that point that final release was the best. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, I'm not a particularly spiritual man, but if they're you know, and again, I obviously don't want to get into a debate about it, but yeah, if there was a god, I'd say he would have looked at Zhang Yu Sheng going, yeah, I want that guy. I want that guy. Lyrics. I think that this song is about people doing stuff that I don't know that I can talk about on YouTube. Doing the deed. I think that this song is about it. Wrap around your neck and dry up on your lips. Missing your eyes, I'm infatuate. I think okay, that's what I got told it was about when I initially recorded it a while ago now, I think last year. I think this is maybe someone coming into contact with someone, and there's a little bit of initial kind of, is this going to work out? Is this going to be okay? But the attraction is so strong that it works anyways. You know, they don't want anybody else. And they'll wait as long as I need to for it. There is love here, love is here. Of course love is here. That song was the definition of love. I also like drummer Zhang Yu Sheng. He and Zhang Yu Sheng have been working together for 10 years. Yeah, I get that. I think it's deeper than that. I think to just say it's about sex, you know, like, again, everyone's entitled to their opinion. But I think, like, I think it's deeper than that. You know, he's so majestic and caring with how he talks about it. Like, it's really meaningful to him. You know, what's the next song? 6 and 7, Pattern of Love. Yeah. Damn, dude. Damn, man. This is kind of fun. This is very different to the previous track, though, isn't it? The harp is gorgeous, though. I think this is a really suitable track after River, you know? The way I imagine this is people in a bed together after they've done it, and they're just kind of resting whilst the moon's over top and they're looking at the stars. That's by far the most intense harp playing I've heard in my life. Okay. Alright then. I agree, yep. Absolutely, there should be one song. Yeah, actually, Keikaku Soup, I would agree with that entirely. It is thoroughly Broadway. Thoroughly Broadway. Thoroughly. It's such a great change of pace from what we've had previously, and it showcases Zhang Yu Sheng's vast talents and lots of different areas to encompass lots of different influences and styles. Yeah, actually it is 5/4, isn't it? You're right. Did it. Yeah, honestly, like, who have we got here? What is this name? What is this name? Name here. Mayor of Yonghua City. I firmly believe it should have won the Golden Melody Award. It's very rare that I've listened to better albums than this. Even from many bigger artists, you know? Like, from like bigger artists, I mean, like, especially a lot of like the Western ones I've heard, you know? It's very nice to get back to that jazzy kind of feel with the Parisian strings, you know? And that bass is so forming. Is that a double bass actually? Is he using a walking bass line? If so, that's totally dope, man. Like, what don't we have in this album? What don't we have in this? A little bit of ping pong delay on his vocals as well. I like how we've moved away from the 5/4 and we're just in that swing triplet kind of groove there. And it's so slick and smooth, and I didn't even know we'd change time signatures. Like, where? I'm not even mad that some of the parts are quite resonant in the mix. I like the harp though. The harp is such a fantastic addition to this well, it is addictive, but it's also a great addition to the overall arrangement. It's, you know, it's a complicated vocal melody, but the thing that Zhang Yu Sheng does is he makes it easy to, like, catchy. So even if it's complicated, you still want to hum along to it, and it encourages you to expand your verbal and vocal palette a little bit. Occasional flux on the harps as well. Oh, okay. Okay then. Sure. Yeah, no, I would agree with the pattern of love there. That's why I was saying I think it's more complicated than just 6. You know, I think there's more to it than that. The way that Zhang Yu Sheng sings in that song as well doesn't give me that. Like, if he was gonna make it all raunchy and stuff like that, he'd sing like he did in the 4th track, I think it was. He's way more caring. You know what I mean? Like, he isn't like, oh, look at me. Beautiful outro to the song, man. Beautiful outro to the song. Very different vibe than what we've had previously. Ik bin Naktuel says Zhang Yu Sheng had remarkable talent for both creating and performing music in his album. I agree. I agree with that. I'm gonna just copy that here and just translate it just in case it means something different. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely respected. Yep, thank you very much. Ik thank you for your donation. Yeah, absolutely. This is what I've been saying, I think, for a lot of the time, is that as someone who does not get an exposure to this level of musicianship and composition and music made in in the late 20th century, even nowadays when there's so many virtuosos, you very rarely get people who find that beautiful midpoint between overplaying and inconsequential minimalism. And yeah, thank you for your donation as well as for your thoughts. They're absolutely valid. NK Kaku Soup says, love how the harp is rebellious here instead of being stereotypical. I agree. I absolutely agree. I think that it's fantastic that it's being a little bit rebellious here. I like it's fun. It's fun that it's not just a unit. Sometimes the harp was in unison, and other times it just went for a walk. And I enjoy the fact that we're being playful both with the music and also our expectations of the listener. It's cool. I am never going to stop talking about how much I love this album. You could ask me 10 years from now, yo, do you remember the Zhang Yu Sheng album that you did a review on 10 years ago? I'll be like, yes, I do, and I'll never forget it. Never forget it. Great album. We got a pattern of love here. Interesting. It's very sultry, isn't it? It's very, very seductive. It's very interesting. I will hide the quiver tingles, let go of all my care. Unscrew my hot body. It has a radius of the earth. Wow. Wow. What a line, dude. What a line. When I accidentally let the tear fall, the equator is also covered with snow. The pattern of love. Fascinating. It is. Yeah, it's got the passion. This is an incredibly passionate song. I think that it is it's a very classy way of talking about it, I think. On the highest peak we withered love. So I've gone through the difficulties of having these feelings for each other, and we wanted to make it more and more intimate. The eye signal thing, it's just the idea of like the fire stealer regrets it and shall go from freeze give me a frown. It's all about eye contact. It's all about looking at someone and going, yo, let's flirt. Let's have a really good time. Let's just let it get super duper intense. I thank you. Thank you for the help. I wouldn't have known otherwise. Thank you for the help with these translations. What's track number 8 though? All up to you. All up to you. Thank you, CH. I love that you guys listen to me talk about music. It genuinely makes me really happy. So thank you for coming to check out this live stream that we're doing today. It's cool to be able to do this. Like I was talking to my family about the fact that I do these like reviews on Saturdays, and they're like, "What?" Because my mom, she works in a law department. No, she's not a lawyer, but she works for like the court. And I don't really talk to my dad anymore, but like my nephew and stuff, and they're like, "What? What's the live streaming?" And so I talked to them about it, and they're like, "No, you don't do that." But it's a privilege, so thank you for coming along to these live streams. That classical vibe is coming strong with this one, isn't it? Oh, ooh. Ooh. That was a very, very quick change from that string-oriented motif that we had at the start there. I think it's cool. I want to see it develop. I want it to develop. Nice bar extension here. It's interesting that you say track 8 just requires headphones, because I would say every song in this album requires headphones. The panning of the instruments in this album is extreme. It is not just here. It goes all around. You are surrounded and enveloped by the sound. It's just incredible, dude. I agree though. Interesting phrasing here. It's nice to have him go in unison with some of the hi-hat percussive and sort of harpsichord parts. Also, CH, I was crying when I was listening to the solo section of River. So I'm not crying at the moment, but I was crying before because it was a really, really intense emotional moment for me personally. That solo, it's a wonderful solo, especially the outro one, you know? So yeah. And yeah. Well, I think Zhang Yu Sheng did bring happiness, sense, peace, and joy in his music. It's almost illegal how well he pans those instruments. Some of those drums sounded like they were behind me. How do you get drums to sound like you're behind them? I'm an audio engineer with a diploma in audio engineering, and I don't know how he managed to get that spatial stuff going there. The production is absolutely phenomenal. The harpsichord parts with the tom fills and the electric guitar coming in and how wide it sounds is unbelievable, dude. My lord. Nice call and response with those strings here. No. Are we using like what is that? Is that like a vocoder now? Is he using electronic vocal modulation now? In a song where we had the Mozart classical composition going on? We're going for those electronic things? My goodness. I don't know what we're gonna get next. I don't know. Great build there. Lovely sense of unison with everything. And we just get rid of the bass for a half bar. It's unpredictable. There is constant shifts there, you know. Zhang Yu Sheng does not want you as a listener to be bored. just before we go any further, the hi-hat work in this on the drum kit, don't know if you can hear that really quiet hi-hats. I thought he was playing eighths, but he's doing ghost note sixteenths. The drumming, the bass and the guitar and the strings, the harpsichord, the vocoder stuff happening with the vocals now. Oh, thank you. So Little K was the one who helped with the sound surround effect. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's good to know. Because I was wondering, especially for 1997, obviously movies had surround sound back then to an extent, but it wasn't like it is now. So it's phenomenal for the time. Great counterpoint there. Okay. Oh, that got me. I wasn't expecting those guitars to come in like that. What? Wow. Wow, man. Great shift here dynamically. Similar approach to the vocals. Dude, the call and response between the left and the right side. I didn't mention this before, by the way. Just so you know. I didn't mention this before. In River, a song that we reviewed, obviously, like about half an hour ago. In River, do you know how the solo section, the outro, had the guitar on the left side and the guitar on the right? I love that. I love the fact that the guitar is kind of give and take, and they go between each other in the stereo field for River at the end. And I love how the vocal chanting in the middle is kind of encouraging them to interact with one another in their intimacy and their passion. I know it's not the same vibe here, but I also love the way that we're getting the listener to interact between both sides, you know? Really tight rhythm playing on those guitars. Oh, a fade out? I don't mind. I don't mind if there's a fade out, dude. Honestly, I don't mind at all if there's a fade out. I don't mind. The reason that I don't mind if there's a fade out, right, is simply because when there's a fade out and it's earned and you've had so much of the song beforehand, you can just vibe with that theme carrying you out. There's one song from Beyond, and I think everyone knows the song I'm talking about, where we did a top 5 of Beyond, and they cut the solo out. They cut the solo out of the review, out of the version on Spotify of the Beyond song. And we were doing the top 5, and everyone was disappointed by the fact they cut the solo out because it did like a fade out. But when Zhang Yu Sheng's got like 5.5 minutes of his best efforts, I'm not mad about it, you know? I'm not mad about it because you've gotten the best from him, and it's just he's earned that fade out. Yeah, I think that Zhang Yu Sheng had the right people involved for this record. You know, if you've got the performance, you know, the arrangement and the sound design sorted, like the production sorted, you're done. You don't need more. Any of those components, any of that triad, if the performance is weak, or the songwriting is weak, or the production is weak, you're screwed. But if each of those three components of performance, songwriting, and production, if they're all strong, you've got yourself an absolute banger of a record. And those are the ones that sell millions of copies. Those are the ones that sell millions of copies. This is track 8A, All Up to You. This is an interesting sort of pattern I'm reading through Zhang Yu Sheng's lyrics, where he has such a willingness to follow the other person that he's talking about. There is this innate faith and belief in them to want to follow them and do what they do and support and protect them. And I just think that is such a beautiful concept. You often in songs get people who are very sort of like self-absorbed and narcissistic, and they'll look at themselves and how they are with that person. But Zhang Yu Sheng is constantly describing the connections that he has with people. And I think that that's an incredibly beautiful thing. It's really nice to have in an album. And that thematically has consisted throughout the record. And just shout out to him, dude. It's great work there. Yeah, like he realizes that he's no longer young and that he's becoming an adult, and he needs to try and be a little bit more responsible, maybe. But when he sees this other person, it just inspires and encourages him to be young again and to make these decisions that allow him to sort of like come down from that. And it's sensational. Just want to make every second wonderful. It's just a really, really great track, man. I mean, we've got Demeanor next. I'll level with you guys watching this. I'm going to be sad not to listen to more of this, not to have more to listen through, but I am nonetheless appreciative for the opportunity I've had today to review this. So thank you to everyone who's come along to the live stream so far. Let's list off the different instruments we have almost immediately. I'm pretty sure we have a harmonica, an accordion, we have some guitars there, a bass, drums, maybe some bongos or hand drums as well, maybe a secondary percussive setup. I'm sure there are Shen Yu fan. And just a heads up, we are going to review more of Zhang Yu Sheng in future. We will review more of Zhang Yu Sheng in future. We will. Oh, thank you. Oh, Shen. Oh, that's so, thank you so much. That's really generous. Thank you. I gotta do the ad thing, don't I? Thank you so much for your donation. Thanks to Logan's comments and comments in everyone's company. The Saturday just got a lot more meaningful. Please take my knee. Thank you for coming along, Shinida. Again, you know, I don't take this for granted. I really appreciate the fact that people want to hang with me and review these albums, because I wouldn't know about this music if it wasn't for you. You know, you watching this, you're the people that are telling me to check out this music, and I am having a blast reviewing it. Genuinely, I'm having a great time, and I enjoy spending my Saturday doing this. And I like to hope that people who watch these reviews are having a good time too. So thank you, Shenyida, for your generous donation. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And I'm glad to hear that you're having a good time.
竟是这般迷惑，你的温柔，你的轮廓，你的洒脱，在我心里都是飘逸水墨，不知怎么样开口，有太多的。
I mean, that flamenco guitar we've got there alongside the accordion, like that alone makes me want to learn the accordion. Do you know what I mean? It's just so charming and romantic. Interesting change here in the progression.
身材，我最爱，躲在梦里，喃喃念出来。身材，我最爱。
Just listen. Can you hear how gently he's singing?
迟迟打不开，密码。
Because it's like testament. I know I'm interrupting a lot and I'm sorry about that, but it's testament to his ability as a singer for him to be able to sing with that kind of vibrato when he's that quiet. Because he's really singing quite sweetly and quietly, and that's not an easy thing to do, you know? Is that a parallel major? Oh, okay. Interesting jazzy kind of harmonies here. Very, very soft pattern there as well. That's filling in the space.
播放一种巴洛克的旋律。
Oh my goodness, yes. The brushes, dude, on the kit. Oh, that bass line is so wonderful.
不知怎么样看。
He has this uncanny ability to be able to craft these combinations of elements and instruments within an arrangement and make you imagine that you're in like this Parisian kind of like river floating on one of those little boat things that they have in the canal, you know? Honestly, like this is one of the best albums I've reviewed. And I say that too often. I promise you this time. Top 10. Top 10. Just even if from a musicality perspective alone, the skill level, the talent required, top 10. Top 10. The accordion part of the song was arranged into the song by arranger Koji because the producer, Kiss Me Na Na, happened to have an accordion. But in the middle of playing it, Koji Sakurai put the accordion on backwards and forgot to open the buckle, causing more and more strain. With help from Zhang Yu Sheng and the company's executive director, the trio finished the accordion part. Wow, it sounds like a hell of a time, and I think that's a really cool story, so thank you for sharing that. Because it's worth noting that recording sessions are not perfect. Whatever you think will go wrong when you're recording a song will go wrong. Because that's what's called Murphy's Law. The moment you think something isn't going to happen, it does. It's why you never say something isn't going to happen or it will, you know? But that's a great story. I'm gonna translate this from Ik ben actual. Oh, you're welcome. Hey, honestly, thank you to everyone for, because again, I wouldn't know what this is about otherwise. So thank you to everyone for helping me understand what this music is about. I really appreciate it. Knowing the lyrics helps me to understand and appreciate the music better, and it helps me to kind of hear it the same way that you do, you know? Kind of hear it the same way that you do, you know? Yeah, I know. I know. This is the top 10. I promise. Okay. I promise that this is in my top 10 albums that I've ever reviewed. I promise. I promise that this is in my top 10 albums. But yeah, let's continue. I promise. Just like, it's not just the percussion. It's not just the percussion, but it's also the fact that he's putting those little hand drums in there, and it's like, dude, you don't have to go that hard, but he is. He's going so hard, but I love it, man. Great key change here. Great key change. Nice way to finish it out. You know, I'm not even mad that we haven't had massive shifts in intensity of the various instruments within the arrangement. You know, we haven't had like it's distorted guitars come in or massive raucous drum fills or anything like that. I'm not even mad about that. It's more than enough just to have one solid, well-written motif with a few key changes and parallel chords in there. You know, you don't need more than that. You don't need more than that. It's meant to be smooth, you know? Okay. The guitar work here is exactly what I needed from it. You guys were hiding this. You were hiding it from me. I love this. It's such a... It's more than I would have been happy with it as it was before. But now I got more. He just keeps giving. Yeah, he got me. Da, 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 da. And I just love how catchy that is. It's so upbeat and positive and vibrant. And oh, dude. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my gosh. This album has been a journey. And the opening section there is actually a Kiss Me Nana track, which producer Little K forgot to wash out, but the crowd thought it was spot on. Yeah, I mean, I think it was fantastic. I couldn't tell that there was anything unusual. It just sounded like another quality Zhang Yu Sheng track. And, nah, I don't mind at all. Like, again, I really enjoy this music. If I'll be honest with you, like, I'm not gonna review an album from a musician that I don't like. I've done that with someone before, but it's too painful to go through an entire album from a musician that I don't like listening to, you know? But yeah, Keikaku, absolutely. The demo version. Oh, okay. The feelings of the lyrics crushed, the complete opposite of the official version. Well, maybe if we get the chance, we can do that sometime. That'd be cool. Fade out lyrics, demeanor, my favorite. Repeat. Thank you. What else we got here? Demeanor. Oh, thank you for the little note about Jean Moreau, master of surrealist painting. I appreciate the clarification on that. That's dope. That's cool. Okay, so what do we got here? It's so surreal. So the person's like a painting in their heart. So this is someone basically as a painting in their heart, right? And their image, their visage is imprinted on them and is something really special and important to them. That's lovely. That's lovely. It's the lyrics aren't super complicated. They're enough to sit well with what we got harmonically and from a musical perspective. But I'm just again I'm thankful for the translations and another banger for sure. Helen Liu, thanks for your tears for the song A River. This is the 3rd time to saw you cry for the song. It's been the 3rd time. Yeah, I suppose it has been 3 times, hasn't it, Helen? Helen Liu. It has been the 3rd time. I don't know if there's a point where I won't stop crying when I hear that song. Just to let you guys in on a little secret, what Zhang Yu Sheng does is like a dream of mine. I when I was a teenager, I would dream of being able to do what he did. And he and I obviously went in different directions. He really went for it. And he's just a 1 in a billion. He's a 1 in a billion kind of dude. And, you know, if I can ever be like a 10th of the musician he is, I'll consider my life a success. But yeah, just that track, River, is so intense for me also just from like a respect standpoint, and also the musicality of it is unique. And it's a very rare experience for me because I don't usually get that emotional, but it's like a train, you know? It's great. I'm glad that people love his music. He's a fantastic musician. Thank you very much for the donation, though, Helen Yu. I appreciate it. We got this. Got that here. The name of the rose is also great. Awesome. Thank you. It's good to know. Yeah, he does. He does use painting and music to describe people's demeanor. Someone's demeanor. Ah. Oh, okay. Someone's demeanor. All right. I will keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind. We got track number 10 now. Before twilight melted the word's colors. Let's go. Okay. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. This brass though, man. The brass, the drums, with the calypso vibe. It's another angle for Zhang Yu Sheng. It's so tropical. It's like how do I describe it? It's got that kind of aesthetic of it's got that aesthetic of like, you know, when you're on a beach and people are partying and it's like the moon's up in the sky and you're lit up by like torches. It's starry and glittery and everyone's just having a fantastic sort of shimmer around the place. We got an extra beat in there? Absolutely, he is. Keikaku Soup, he absolutely is. Oh, wow. Wow, what? We're going into that bombastic celebratory tone? Massive vibe shift. Massive vibe shift, dude. The crowd is so happy and elated. And I'm really glad that he wrote the song then, because this is like this sounds like they're celebrating a marriage. I would like for real, like I would prefer to have this as a song that I got married to than the traditional one. This is way more fun, dude. Way more fun. Way more fun. That quarter note groove. And I love how I just randomly have those kind of tribal kind of dun 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 dun. I mean, I know it's done on toms, but still. And the shimmery synthesizers on top. Lots of color in that high end with the guitars. And like it's testament to the production value that the brass sounds that bright and tight. This is a near flawless record, without an inch of hyperbole. It's near flawless, dude. I challenge you to find like. What are we doing now? What? He's unparalleled in his ability to completely take you the heck out of where you're at, just thwomp you down somewhere else, make it make sense, crane pick you up, and put you there. He's unparalleled. Unparalleled. I'm so glad that he made a wedding song. I would never have expected there to be wedding songs in this. But carnival wedding sounds so much fun, dude. I want a carnival wedding, dude. This is making me want a carnival wedding, dude. I don't even mind there's an extra beat in there. It's just a really seamless, chill way of splitting up these bars. Everyone gets a love to. Damn, man. Damn. Damn, dude. It just ended. Damn. My brain at the moment is pretty much just blown at this point. I think I legitimately need to sit down after this and collect my thoughts, because it's been such a journey, such an adventure through this album. It has legitimately inspired me to become a better musician. I don't know about you guys. Here's a new thing for the chat. What do you like about this album? You know, what do you like about it? What's your favorite thing about this album? And Keikaku Soup, absolutely. River. Yay! Yeah, River's a good song. River is a pretty good song, to be fair. River is a pretty good song. Before the twilight melted the world's colors. Like, look at these lyrics. Before the twilight melted the world's colors, our emotions reached a limit of beauty. When the moonlight sings the incomparable heavenly psalm, our joy springs to the festive realm. Like, come now. Like, that's just so wondrous. The imagery there, that magical nature of wedding ceremonies, dude. I like talking about how incredible the event is going to be, the joy of it. The ceremony is complete. Before the stars fashion sacred geometry, our heartbeat breaks through the ancient plateau. In the society of the 1990s, a woman's marriage almost meant that she gave up her work and life and devoted herself to the family. The album was released in 1997. Yeah. 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 Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So I think this is about celebrating the transition from being single to one of a family, but making it the most badass wedding ceremony you can possibly hope for. I love how we've phrased that. And people love all of the songs in this album, and I adore that. There's not been a weak track in this album. There's just not. There hasn't been. Now, what I will say though, and a completely unrelated thing, I think we're at the bottom here. I think about him, personal opinion. Yeah, I'd agree with all that. I think he is definitely a musician. I'm so glad that he was working towards stage musicals. And I'm so glad about that. Thank you for putting your thoughts forward, by the way. I really appreciate that. And the Chinese musical instruments. Got Suona. Thank you. I'm going to read through this. So Suona is an oboe, a woodwind oboe that sounds like a trumpet. Erhu is a stringed instrument, like a violin, a can't remove its bowed strings. So thank you for that. And Gushing is a plucked string instrument, because I really need to get the hang of these three, because I constantly confuse them. So Suona is an oboe, Erhu is a stringed thingy, Gushing is a plucked, Erhu is a stringed, and Gushing is a plucked, and Suona is an oboe thingy. I'll figure it out, okay? We'll figure it out, okay? Yeah, it's next level. I'm so glad everyone's enjoying the music and having a great time today. We've got one more track. I don't know if we've got lyrics in the Google Drive, but I have lyrics here. Here. So don't worry. I got us. We're all good. These won't be as good as the lyrics that we had initially from Cheng Shui Yi. So these won't be as good as the tracks that Cheng Shui Yi put forward, but they'll still be okay. We will cope. Okay? So last track today. Let's go. I'm gonna be sad to see this album go, man. But the saxophone is exactly what we needed here.
惊喜，你的自信，你让我压抑。
Great way to finish. Really strong. Really strong, dude. Oh, hang on. Are you saying that the folder's loaded again? Hang on. I'll find it here. Here? Oh, cool. Thank you. Cool. We have got lyrics. We're all good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. If I told you what I'm loving is just you. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Sheng Shui. Sheng Shui Yi. Hopefully I'm not mispronouncing that too badly. Yeah, baseline. Fantastic baseline. The baseline. The slap is the bum 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 bum. Those falsetto harmonies, the dun 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 dun. It's so funky. What can't Zhang Yu Sheng do? What can't he do? What can't he do? A man of a million talents. Great choice breaking up the general vibe of it with those tom fills. And alongside the saxophone coming in as a replacement of the vocals and the cool response. Oh shit, share it with the flanger and phasing going on. So dreamy. Oh man, oh dude. Oh buddy, oh that saxophone solo is just it's just that is the sexiest saxophone solo I've heard in a damn long time, dude. The eroticism in there, my goodness. And he just goes down to this. I mean, I did. Wow. They need to give the bassist a raise, and they need to give the drummer a raise, and they his voice. I'm glad that Zhang didn't sing bass. This album would not have had nearly the same effect if Zhang Yu Sheng had been a bass. It just wouldn't have. He has such phenomenal clarity over the rest of the instruments in the arrangement because of his vocal range. Love the chromaticism to that saxophone solo as well. Phenomenal clarity of the bass line in this as well. The production is excellent. A little bit of flanging with the organ in the background. Those keys are nice. Wow. So he got all Zhang Zhang Yu Sheng knew how to find good friends, didn't he? Imagine having a bass player that was your classmate that was that exceptional. Tan Min Hui. Gorgeous, dude. The thumping as well on the low string. Oh. That inclusion of Lang Old Sign or something like that, that New Year vibe, after the marriage song, is damn clever, man. Well done. Oh. I've got nothing to say here, man. Like, I think anyone listening to this can understand why this sounds good. Are we going for that slow fade out? No, don't go. No, don't go, Zhang Yu Sheng. Don't. Man, that's the album. That's the album. Lyrics. While working on the album, Zhang Yu Sheng suddenly heard that Princess Diana had been involved in a car accident, and that it coincided with the eve of Hong Kong's handover. So he decided to end the last song with Old Lang Syne. Yeah. A new year, a new life, you know? It is always interesting the talents always hang out together. You're right. And there's a brass melody at the back, which is a representative melody of parting at that time. Yeah. Because we're at the end of the journey. At the end of the journey. By the way, thank you to Shang Shui Yi for all the translations today. Really appreciate it, okay? Did a great job. What if I told you that I'm loving is just you? So this is all about loving someone for who they really are, you know? I like how Zhang Yu Sheng is encouraging this person to just be themselves no matter what. Even if they make stylistic or personal changes, just don't lose the essence of their soul, you know? I just want you just for you because all I love is just you. Top 3. I would say River is the first. Two would be Twilight, Melted. And probably 3, Demeanor. No. Demeanor, and is just Yeah. Or Twilight Meld the Woods colors. That's my top 3. I can't decide between those last two. But those are my top 3. I hope so too, because it's an absolute banger of a tune. Here is my conclusion. This is my conclusion for this album from Zhang Yu Sheng titled Duplicity, if I'm not mistaken. That this album is, again, it's in the top 10 albums I've ever reviewed in my entire life. The musicality of this album is unparalleled. Zhang Yu Sheng was a true talent. Little K and Koji Sakurai and everyone else involved, they did a fantastic job of helping Zhang Yu Sheng to find their place, and the instrument performances were absolutely astounding. But Zhang Yu Sheng is a true artistic visionary and lost way too young. This music, in my opinion, is criminally underrated. It is something that I think every single musician can learn from, not only because of the fact of how well it's been played, written, and produced, but also because Zhang Yu Sheng manages to combine so many different elements in a way that makes musical sense and thematic sense. From like from like an arrangement and actual album perspective, these songs flowed so well together. They had similar themes within them of talking about like accepting love who they are, loving someone despite how kind of difficult it can be to be around them. You know, the marriage song, everything like that, comparing your life to the next one, etc. There's all these themes of love. To River, which is about, patterns of love, and all that. I cannot fathom how he would have come up with this. As someone who studied music for most of my life, I can't imagine it. The fact that he was able to produce, write, and record this in 1997, 25 years ago now, with this evergreen production quality is absolutely phenomenal. Zhang Yu Sheng's voice is both unique and pristine. He not only has the capacity to be soft and alluring and sweet and sensual, he belts it. He belts it later on. He goes really hard, and he has that wonderful vocal fry like in River and other tracks. And I can't get enough of it. He's I'd say damn near a virtuoso. I loved the structure of each of these tracks. No song was the same. Each had their own unique perspective. The structure was never copied and pasted. You never knew what we were going to have next, as per the multiple times I thought we were done, and then suddenly, boom. Boom, new section. The instrumental performances from these string arrangements, the brass, the drums, the bass, guitar, the vocals, piano, the keys, even the synths, the vocoded vocals, the little samples, the different types of percussion. There was so much in this. There was so much more than we deserved, and he threw it all in there. And I cannot fathom how he knew how to do it, but everything had a place and made musical sense and made sense for the subject matter. They created these images within your head, and these motifs, despite being played around with, having some parallel major or minor chords in there, despite key changes and shifts to between 5/4 to triplet grooves, just complete, almost anarchy at some points. It's just such a human experience. It's something that I will not forget for a long time. The production, recording, mixing, and mastering is absolutely it's just flawless. And everyone involved in this should be proud of themselves. The EQing, stereo panning, effects, the stereo panning, how wide everything was, how things were placed. You need headphones to hear this. Do not listen to this album without headphones. You won't have the same experience. You need the music to surround you. The only thing that would have been better than listening to this in a CD would have been hearing him live, and I will never get the opportunity to do that, and I'm very sad for that. But I'm so grateful that this album was released to be able to hear the talent that he has, or he had. And as people have said, Zhang Yu Sheng made music to try and make the world a better place. That's all I got to say about it, really. Everything else I think I've said in the review. Thank you as well to I'll just have here. So here, and who's this? Yeah, Mayor of Yonghua City. Thanks for your donation. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens on top 3 albums, and even as a prelude to the symphony. It'll be cool to look through a lot more of this music. But until next time, thank you all very much for watching my review of Zhang Yu Sheng's album Duplicity. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, go and listen through the rest of Zhang Yu Sheng's stuff. Have a listen through this on your own without me blabbering on about it over top of it. Stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I'll catch you in the next album live stream. Spiderhands out. 3,